Welcome in. Give me 1 second. I'm just double checking my mic, making sure my mic is working. Welcome in. Give me one. All right, looks like it's good. Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday morning. Wednesdays are my short days, so Wednesday is the day that I have time available in the morning, so I've been trying to do Wednesday morning lives. Hope you guys have all been having a good start of your week. We're halfway through. Actually, this week is a short week for me because we have Friday off here. So we have a long weekend. All right, let me see. I think I need to move this just a little bit. See if that helps. I'm a bit early, so I wanted to just make sure that I was on and ready to get started, and it looks good. Hello, Kim. Welcome in from Manitoba. How's the weather there? Is it cold? That's pretty north, isn't it? All right, so today, as my title suggests, I am working on what I like to call pocket flips. This is kind of a idea that I used to do a lot of back in the day, quite a few years ago. I used to make pocket letters. We had a very large group of pocket letter traders, and we had a whole Facebook page, and we always did trading. And so if you're not familiar with what a pocket letter is, it is basically, see, it's going to be hard for me to show you because I've cut these down already. Good morning, Once Upon a Dream. You just got home from Disney yesterday. How was your trip? Oh, see, what is 24 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? For us here, it's been in the high 80s, low 90s Fahrenheit. And that's still pretty warm, I think, for this time of year. I feel like it's still been pretty warm. I mean, it's definitely not as warm as it was like a month ago, but I am so looking forward to the fall weather. Anyhow, like I was mentioning, we're going to be doing some pocket flips, and they're a kind of an exaggerated or shorter version of the old pocket letters. Now, the pocket letters, we used the card holders, and there's usually 3 of them. This one just happens to be cut. I cut this one down, so we just have the one strip of 3, but the full pages have 9 little pockets in them. And then they have the little hole punch, the little 3-ring binder hole punch on them. So what I've done is I've cut them down into smaller strips, almost like the size of a tag that would fit in like a tag flip, and turned it into kind of a small pocket flip. So I'll give you an example. These are going out to my Happy Mail members this month. So 77. Oh, 77 sounds wonderful. Kim, that sounds wonderful. And your trip was good, Once Upon a Dream. That's awesome. I'm so glad you had a good time. What was your favorite thing that you did? I always love asking people who don't live here, like what their favorite thing they did when they're here was. For me, I find that my favorite thing now is literally just to walk around and people watch and just kind of go slow. Like, we'll go to the park. We won't even do rides. We'll literally just go, maybe have a snack, just kind of like be very low key. We'll do some pin trading. But that's what I love to do now that we live here. But I remember when we used to come to Disney and like we'd spend from rope drop in the morning until fireworks at night, like going hard nonstop for a week. And we just don't do that anymore. But glad you had fun. Anyhow, back to our pocket letters. This is kind of what I'm doing. We're doing these for our Happy Mail this month. So it's kind of like an exaggerated or smaller version of the full pocket letters. And they're all going to go along with the different themes of the classic storybooks that I'm doing for my journal tiers. So as you can see, I added a little charm dangle right here. Each one's going to have its own little custom charm dangle, and each pocket is filled with different things, different papers you can use, different cutouts, different book pages, ephemera. I've got some washi tapes and some lace, and then on the back side there's more stuff, so more little die cuts, stickers, so lots of little fun things that can be taken out of this and used in crafting. Hold on one second. I have an ad. I apologize for the crazy ads. YouTube wants to like throw in ads all the time. Whenever your channel's monetized, it's like, I feel like it's ad central. Okay. So anyhow, so this is what we're making today. This is just kind of an example of one that I have done. And we're going to be putting one together. I have an Alice in Wonderland theme that I'm going to be making today. This is like one of the last ones I'm doing for my Happy Mail. All of my stuff, I'm trying to finish everything up to get it shipped out by tomorrow. So if you are a journal member or a Happy Mail tier member, all of your items will be shipped out by tomorrow, which is my goal. Which I think I'm just about ready to ship everything out. Aren't they so cute? Yes. So that's what I did. I always like to use up book pages. Like whenever I'm taking a book apart and using it for a journal, I like to use all of the pages. Sometimes I don't get all of them in the actual journal, so I'll save them and use them as other things. Like I'll cut out words, I'll cut out pictures. I'll show you the journal that goes along with that one. Let's see, that was the Cinderella one, I think. Oh, also, I didn't even show this. Also, in addition to just the Happy Mail pocket flip here, in addition to this, everyone is also going to get a custom pack of digitals, digital die cuts. So this one is all kinds of Cinderella die cuts that you can use for your crafting. So this is going to come with it. So that's what this little paper clip is for, because I had these paper clipped in like that. So you're going to get all kinds of fun, goody, crafty things in this little pocket letter this month for Happy Mail. Okay, the journals are looking like this. It's the flip journal. I think I showed this a little bit on my last live last week. But again, I used the books. I used a bunch of the book pages. Again, you're getting the little mini book charms. You're also getting, here's like the front cover I laminated. So you're getting that front cover, the cover page, I should say. You're also getting pin. So this is an authentic Disney pin that we went and searched for on the little Cinderella Viewmaster wheel. And then I did a bunch of these little custom tags. And then again, more of the pocket letters on the inside. So you could do something like this with the pocket letters if you wanted to, do a bunch of different pocket letters. They have the little hole or the little punched hole at the top here. So you could attach a ring in here and just do a bunch of these, which would be a fun swap. You could, do some sort of a swap like that and then just collect a bunch of different pocket tag flips. Okay, so enough blabbing. I gotta get working. I tend to do that. I tend to blab a lot and not do a whole lot of work. So we are gonna do some work. Thank you. It's such a fun idea. And like I said, I used to do so many pocket letters. when we moved here, I went through all of my crafting supplies and I pulled out all of the pocket letters that people had given me over the years. And I was like, you know what? I have to incorporate that somehow into an upcoming project. So that's kind of the inspiration for this. All right, so I've got my blank pocket letter, which is cut into strips. First thing I like to do is I like to figure out what I'm putting in the pockets for kind of like background pages. Now, I don't glue anything in place because I like whatever I put in these pockets, I want to be able to send it to whoever and they can pull them out and reuse them. So I don't want to glue anything. Sometimes I will glue like stickers or something to the outside, only so that way they don't fall off. But most everything could be peeled off easily and reused. And that's if you want to take it apart at all. I know with me, I received pocket letters and I never wanted to take them apart because they were so pretty, just kept as is. But you can take them apart and use them. Okay, so I am going to just be cutting up some little pieces here. I just have some little pieces of cardstock. I have more book pages. I pulled a bunch of ephemera out of my scrap that I wanted to use. There's a title. More little pieces, just little scrap pieces that I thought went well with this theme. Like I said, this particular one is going to be an Alice in Wonderland theme. So I want to use some of these papers up in putting this together. So these little pockets are 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So I'm just using my paper cutter here to cut some pieces that will fit in the pockets. 2.5 by 3.5. There's one. Let's see, is this a 3.5? This is a 3.5 right there. There's two. All right, let's see, what else do I have? I have this blue piece, which I thought is just like scrap. It's a great use of scrap as well, using up all of those smaller scrap pieces that you don't know what to do with because they're a smaller size. All right. So I'll cut these down. You can also round the corners if you want to. You know, you can be super creative with this whole process. I think I already did this one. I think this one is already, yeah, that one's already 2.5 by 3.5. Let's see. I like this, but I don't like the back. So I might just stick this in somewhere because that's just a pretty little piece of like scroll cardstock, embossed scroll cardstock. And I have some more right there. My throat is scratchy this morning. I think it's the change in weather. All right, let's see. Let's do a small piece of this. So basically, I'm just doing some cutting right now, getting everything prepped to go into these little pockets. All right. Now, I'm also going to, since I have some of these book pages, I'm going to see if I have any fun, like I saved a lot of the words or the writing, which this one's cute. The little bottle, Alice drank from a bottle on the table. That's super cute. So I think I'm going to use this. Let me just cut off the white. I try to cut everything down as small as possible so that I, you know, because these pockets are small, but I want to fit as much as I can into them. So I cut everything down, and then if I have to fold something, I'll fold it. But that would be cute in one of the pockets. Let's see. Also, I mean, I have a bunch of die cuts already. Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite themes to do journals for. So I already have a bunch of digitals in my collection. So I just printed out and cut with my Cricut some digital Alice in Wonderland die cuts. So there's all different ones in here. I probably won't use all of these, but I might use some of them. So I kind of want to just have them out. And then I have this this paper that's kind of see-through. What is this called? I want to say cellophane, but it's not cellophane. It's you know, that paper that you can kind of see through. It's printed on, but it's sheer. There's a name for it, and it's like, I can't think of what the name of it is. But I have a couple little scrap pieces that I want to use, so I'm going to use those also. All right, let me just see if there's anything else I would like to cut. All right, so I am actually going to take this book page right here, and I want to get this image right here of Alice kind of running in the flowers. So I'm just going to cut a small piece out of here. Again, another 2.5 by 3.5 piece. So I'll just cut the words off, and then we'll do about right there. And we want 2.5 by 3.5. All right, so now I have a cute little Alice piece that can go. Vellum, thank you. Yes, vellum. Yes, that's what it is. Thank you. I feel like when I'm talking and doing stuff, my mind is everywhere and I lose track of what I want to say. But yes, it is vellum. Okay, so I've got quite a few pieces cut here. Let's put all these scraps aside. Get rid of all of my small scraps that I don't need. Save the rest of those for another project. All right, so let's start figuring out what I want to put in these pockets. Now, for me, this is just, you might want to do this different, but for me, I like to have my pockets, I like to be able to access the pockets from my right-hand side. So, I mean, obviously you can do it from the left-hand side if you flip it over, but I like to access from the right-hand side. So I'm going to make sure that the pocket's open on the right-hand side before I start decorating. So that way I know what's the front and what's the back. Again, so I'm just going to use some of these little cutout pieces in my pockets as kind of like a backdrop. And I don't know what's going on with this. There we go. I'm sorry about that. I think we're good again. Hold on. Just double check and make sure we're back. Hi guys, I think we're back. Sorry about that. I think we lost internet connection for a second. I had to switch from my home internet to my cellular data. So I don't know if we dropped internet for a minute there, but I believe we are back. Okay, so it looks good. It looks like we are back. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Okay, as I was doing, I am just adding the small little pieces of paper that we cut out to my pocket flip here. And I'm just putting them in an order that I like. Let's do this one in here. Yes, we're back. I lost internet there for a second, I think. My phone rang and then it dropped my internet. We don't have the greatest internet here. You'd think being close to Orlando, we would have great internet, but it's not good. We have issues all the time. So I had to switch out. So I'm on my cellular data, so hopefully that's okay. Okay, so here's where we are. Picking right back up. I put the sheets of paper in my little pocket flip here. And so now we're just going to figure out how we want to decorate. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take this vellum strip that I have here, and I want to do something across the top where this just plain top is, where the ring is, or the hole punch is. Excuse me, hole punch is. So I'm going to use this vellum, and I'm actually just going to glue it on. So I am using my Fabrifix glue because it sticks to everything. And I'm going to put some of this Fabrifix glue right on this top strip here. Make sure I got enough on there. And we're going to do some of this vellum scrap. I'm just going to line that up like that. Make sure it lines up with my edges. And then I'm going to just take some scissors and clip off this excess. And then I hope I have enough on the back where I can put a strip on the back. I don't quite have enough on the back, so I'll do something else on the back. I'll use some of this green. We'll use a piece of this green. This is why I use this scrap paper. Let's see, this green is about, or this strip is about 3/4 of an inch. So I want to do about 3/4 of an inch strip. All right, and then we'll just put this one on the back. Again, using my Fabrifix. You can use washi tape, you can use lace, you could use whatever for this type of thing. I like to do sometimes a combination between lace and paper. But it's a great use of, if you're looking for a use for your washi tape, it's a great use for your washi tape. All right. But I just want kind of a nice little border across the top. Also, when you're sandwiching the paper between that hole punch, it gives it a little bit more strength so that if you are going to attach it to a ring, it's a little stronger. All right, so we'll just snip this one off. There we go. All right, so now we have a nice little border at the top, front and back. These are papers. All right, and I'm gonna punch the hole right now just so I know where the hole is. So if I wanna work around it, if I wanna put something, I'm just gonna punch that hole again with a hole punch. Now you could also put a little eyelet in there if you wanted to. All right, now let's see. Let's do a little bit more decorating here. Let's do, all right, so I have some more of this vellum. Let's put some more of this vellum. Let's just slide some of this vellum right here in the front. There's a lot of floral detail going on. I like to layer up things too when I'm doing these because I find like when you layer things, I don't know, it just gives it a whole different dimension. So I think I'll do that like that. And then I have this right here. This is like one of those papers that have the stitching on the side. This was like an old, it says penny postage envelopes. So it's made to look old. It's not old, but I think I will put that on the back in here. Let's see. I know I'm kind of covering up one of the blue pages that I have in here. So maybe what I'll do is I'll fold this. I'll fold it in half just so that way, like I said, it's giving like another layer or another dimension to what's on the back. Okay. Then I have this, which came from a card. It was a card that I had gotten that had this really pretty die cut. And so I just cut the top of the card off so I could keep this. But I think this is beautiful. So let's use some of this in here also. I'm going to trim it down a little bit because when I cut it, I just used scissors. And so it looks kind of wonky, whatever. Let's see. Let's trim it down about right there. Okay, there's that. And then let's put this down the bottom. So if I put this in here like that, I'll just cut off this excess like that. So now I have this cute little die cut at the bottom. So again, just layer, 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 adding all these little layers. And then I had this piece right here. This was another piece of some sort of packaging. So this is like such good use of all of your little excess scraps that you have laying around that you don't know what to do with, but they're too pretty to just throw, oh boy, too pretty to just throw out. So I'm gonna just do this with my scissors, I think. There. All right, so let's see. Can we stick this in here somewhere? Yeah, let's stick this in here somewhere. Let's stick this up at the top to add a little blue in there in the back. Layer, layer. Okay, moving on. Oh, I have those words, those little Alice drink from the bottle words. Let's fold this. Let's fold that up. Let's put this in the back. You know what? Let's put this behind that little die cut that we just put in there. Like that. That's cute. So you can kind of see the words peeking out back there. All right, I like that. And here's my whole Alice in Wonderland tag or label. It's from the actual book. I just cut the title of the book out. So let's use this also somewhere. Where do I want to use this? See, it's large. So, You know what I might do? I might cut this out. I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to just take my scissors and fussy cut really carefully right around the Alice in Wonderland title, because there's too much white and I don't want the white to take away from the rest of my design. All right. So yeah, so I've just cut that out like that. Now I can put this in here. Let's put this in here on top of this vellum right here. There. Layer, layer. Super cute. Super, super cute. It's all coming together. All right. Now, I am going to take some of these little die cuts that I have, because I have all these fun little die cuts. Now, one of the die cuts that I did was from one of my digitals. I actually cut this out on my Cricut and laminated it. So this is a laminated die cut. I'm actually going to use this right on the top of my page, or right on the top of my flip, and I'm going to glue it down. Like I said, sometimes I like to glue things, sometimes I don't. This one is a little bit bigger, so I am going to glue it down, and I'm going to hang it off the edge just a little bit. So again, with my Fabrifix, just going to glue that down and let it hang off the edge just a little, right on the front there, like that. Now again, you could, since it's laminated, you could easily peel this off and reuse it if you wanted to, but I just think it looks cute just like that. All right, so there we go with that. I have these fun little tickets. I wanted to put some tickets in each one of these. So let's just fold these up. I'm gonna actually break them apart. I'm gonna fold them up, break them apart. I'm gonna put them in the back here. Let's do this. We'll put some down at the bottom, kind of peeking out from the bottom. And we'll do 2 strips of them down at the bottom, just peeking out like that. A couple strips of tickets back there to use. Did I move this? I did. It's not quite It's not quite glued into place yet. I'm gonna let it sit a little bit longer. All right. This is cute too. This is leftover cutouts of a paper doily. I was like, you know what? I might be able to use some of this in here, which would be cute. So let's use some of this. Let me just cut a couple pieces out of this paper doily. And can I stick this? I wanted to kind of maybe stick this on the inside in here. I'm going to stick some of this paper doily on the inside. Yeah, I think that's good. I don't think I need any more than that, just a little bit. Just so it gives like a little look of lace popping up behind the layers of the vellum and then the Alice. So again, just layers, layer, layer, layer. I always go to layering when I'm trying to like put something together. All right, back to the little die cuts. We have the March hare. We have the little Alices. We have these cute little card soldiers here, which are super cute. Got those little card soldiers. Might put those in somewhere. Alice in the bottle is adorable. Love the Alice in the bottle. I wish she was a little smaller so she could fit in a pocket, because she's not going to fit in a pocket. Let's see, I need something small enough to fit in a pocket. That one, again, too big, not small enough to fit in the pocket. How about, oh, he's cute. Yes, let's put him, here's the little white rabbit. He's small enough to fit in the pocket, so let's just stick him in here. Let's see. There, we'll just stick him in there. Adorable. Just stuck him in there. I'm not gluing it down, just sticking it all in the pocket. All right, now I have to do something in here. Haven't done anything in there, the second pocket yet. I have a bunch of these little tiny, little March hare is cute. I could stick him in there maybe. He might work in there. Oh boy, moving stuff around here. Mad Hatter is cute too. Can I stick the Mad Hatter in here? No, because you can't really see his face. How about on the back? Let's stick the Mad Hatter back here. I'm just sticking him back there so he's peeking up over that little piece of paper. I know, it's just fun to play around with things, layer them up. It's such a fun idea to use up scraps. You know, you don't have to be too, you can be super creative with it. You don't have to be too perfect with it. It's basically meant to, what I think, when I think of pocket letters, I think of sharing supplies with other people. And it's just it's a vessel to share supplies with other people. So that's what I'm trying to do, but I'm trying to also do it in an aesthetic, cute way. So, all right, so let's see. Here we have another Mad Hatter. Yeah, let's stick this Mad Hatter in the front here. We have one in the back and one in the front. There we go. There's another Mad Hatter. And then if you wanted to, like, you know, if I wanted to just add a few of these extras in the back for them to use, whoever's going to get this, they can just have these to use whenever. Actually, you know what? Let's stick a Queen of Hearts in here. I'm going to stick a Queen of Hearts back there too. So the Mad Hatter and the Queen of Hearts are kind of poking out of that pocket in the back. All right. This is cute too. Can I stick this back here? I'll just stick this kind of behind there. All right. Let me put these aside. Now we're going to work on a few other things here because I have a little bit more supplies to add to this. set that up there. So this is what it's looking like so far. All right, so all I did for this next step here is I tore a strip of fabric. I liked this blue color fabric. It is about 1 inch by maybe 18 inches, maybe 1 inch by 18, I'm guessing. You don't have to be precise with it. I just tore a small strip, and all I'm gonna do with this little strip is I'm going to make a bow at the top through my hole. And it's literally just for decorative. So again, just making a cute little bow. And I also want some fabric up here so that way I can have something to attach my little safety pin charm dangle to. So I am just finagling this little fabric here so that it looks cute. There. All right, so there's my little fabric bow. Now I'm gonna make a fun little charm to hang off of it. This was one of the charms that I made for this one. It's a large safety pin, and then I made this fun little charm hanging off of the safety pin. So you can use the safety pin on, you know, whatever, as a bag charm, you can use it as a journal charm, but it's a safety pin, so it can go through whatever fabric. So here's my little safety pin. It is a 2-inch safety pin. You can get these on Amazon. I actually need to stock up and get some more. But we're gonna make some charms. And I pulled some beads out ahead of time that I thought would work well for charms for this project. So let's see what I got here. There's a few little things that I have. These ones are gonna go on something else. So let's use these charms right here. All right, so I also want to use some jewelry pins, and I want to use, let's see, some of those and some of these and maybe some of these. I'll probably use these. All right, so in my last live I did some charm making, but it's always helpful to have lots of jewelry findings when you're making charms like this. So I have these larger charm pins. These are, I think, 2 inches. Yeah, those are the 2-inch charm pins or jewelry pins that I use right there. So this one I'm going to use because I'm using the 2-inch because I want enough room to use some bigger beads. And these ones have the little hoops, the little loops at the bottom. Doesn't really matter. All right, so I am going to use one of these little flat gold beads as my base. So there's the little flat gold bead. And then I want to use this bow. I thought this bow screams Alice in Wonderland. I don't know, I just thought that was super cute. So we'll use that one. And then I'm going to put this little pink heart on top of it, like that. And then another little gold. Actually, I have a different gold. We'll do this one. There. Another little gold bead up top. Now, let me just grab my pliers. Here is my little charm. What I'm going to do with this is right at the top of that pin, that straight part. I don't know if you can see this on my camera or not. I'm taking my little tiny needle nose pliers and I'm bending that pin just to the side, like that. Hope you can see that. All right, so once it's bent to the side, that's gonna hold the bead on. Then I'm gonna take my pliers in the opposite direction. Now these needle nose pliers are rounded jewelry needle nose pliers, so they're perfect for making jewelry or charms or anything like that. You can get these on Amazon as well. They have whole different kits, but I'm just making a little loop with that top piece of the pin. So now I have a loop at the top, and then there was the loop at the bottom from the original pin. All right, so there's one charm. I'm going to do another one also because I'm doing a couple of charms on each safety pin. So let's grab another one. So you can see how much time goes into making just one little Happy Mail. It's very time consuming. And I get that question sometimes. People are like, well, why, your Happy Mail is like $35 a month. How come it's 35? Like, it seems high. It's because it's a lot of like hand craftsmanship and time that goes into putting these together. I don't like to do just, I don't know, I like to be more personalized and hands-on with the stuff that I send out. So it takes time. All right, let's see. Let's do another little gold base. Actually, I'm going to, instead of a gold base on this one, I am going to do a little, do I have, let's see, maybe I have it over here. I have another little box of just little jewelry findings. And these are silver. I kind of wanted to incorporate silver and gold only because I have some silver charms that I want to use. So I'm going to do a silver base, a silver little base. So there is my little silver base right there. We'll put that on upside down. And then I have this cute little bow bead. And then I have an adorable little teacup, which the teacup is adorable. I love it. So that's going to go next. And then, let's see, and then I will do one of these beads, I think. Yeah, then we'll do another little gold bead to kind of top it off. And just like the other one, we're going to just make our little loop at the top, flip it over. Make our little circle. Make sure it's nice and tight so that your jump ring, when you put your jump ring in, doesn't come undone. And there we have another little cute charm. All right, so there's two little cute charms that we can put on our safety pin. All right, I'm not done yet. I have a few other little things here. I have a little key, I have a flower, and a couple little flowers. I'm gonna do a small little charm with those. So I'm gonna use one of these larger jump rings. This one is, what is this? About 1/3 of an inch. That's about 1/3 of an inch. I would say, maybe a centimeter, 1 centimeter in width or diameter on this little jump ring that I'm using. It's a little bit bigger, but I will be able to add some multiple charms to it. So then I want to grab some tinier jump rings. So this is just a box of little small jump rings that I have here. Get a couple of them. There's 1, 2, maybe one more, 3. All right, those are little teeny tiny jump rings that I'm going to use. So I have, and I'm mixing silver and gold on this project, this particular one. Usually I like to keep it the same, but I'm mixing on this one. I'm not going to use that one, I think. I'm going to use this one. I want to do that one. No, we'll do this one. All right, so I've got a little flower, and then I'm going to just put that little jump ring on that flower, tighten it up. All right, so there is, make sure that's tight enough. Okay, there's a little a flower with a jump ring. So I'm going to put that flower on that larger jump ring. And then I'm not closing that one up yet. I'm going to do the same thing with the key and this other little flower. So I've got that little flower and the little key. I'm going to do all three on one little ring. All right, so there's the little flower. This is kind of like intricate, tiny process here, so it might be hard to see. I don't have a zoom in camera for this, but all I'm doing is closing these little jump rings in on these little charms so that I can make one kind of bigger charm. All right, last one is the key. Like the key that was sitting up on the table when after Alice drank the drink me potion. She didn't get the key to open or unlock the door. All right, so now we have all three of our little charms on that silver jump ring. Hope you can see that. I know it's hard for me to know where my camera is here. All right, so we've got this larger jump ring now. And I am going to take, before I clip this shut, I'm going to get an even larger jump ring that's going to go, that all three of these charms are going to go on. So now I have this little ring here, and this is just about a 1/2 inch. That's a 1/2 inch ring. So now I'm going to take these smaller rings and close them in on the, oh boy, fell off. Oh boy. I went and did it. All of my charms fell off. Hold on. Okay. Hold on to things with a, hold on to it with a little pliers. All right, there we go. Let's close this. Okay. All right, so there is one of my charms on a larger ring. I'm going to do the same thing with these other two charms. I'm going to take a couple of smaller jump rings and attach these to that larger ring. I know this is just kind of tedious and time consuming, but some people like to see how this is done because I can't, well, I guess I can. Because, you know, if you've never done it before, it can be kind of confusing on how to put together something like this. All right, so now I took a little bit larger of a jump ring for these larger charms, and I'm going to just attach that to our 1/2 inch jump ring. And close that one. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. These little ones that I'm using here are like 1/4 inch. Yeah, these are 1/4 inch. So the 1/4 inch are going to be attached to the 1/2 inch. Okay. All right. There is our charm right there. So we've got some cute little pieces all on our larger jump ring right here. All right, now we need one more 1/4 inch jump ring. All right, so here is my, oops, nope, not that one. Grabbed the wrong one. Here it is, right there. All right, so now we need to attach this larger charm that we made to our safety pin. So what I do is I take another 1/4 inch jump ring, just like I attached the other charms to. I'm gonna open these up. These ones are stiff, so I gotta use 2 pliers here. I'm gonna go right through this little hole, or this little circular part at the bottom of my safety pin. And I'm gonna put that little jump ring there. And then I'm gonna take my large jump ring, or my large piece of my charm, and attach that, or put that through, and then close it up. Make sure it's on there tight. Okay. All right, now we have our little safety pin charm, which can be added. Good morning. Yes, so this can now be added to our pocket letter fabric up top here. I'm just gonna put it through the bow and attach it like that. How cute is that? That is adorable. Love it. Charms just add so much to a project. So love that. All right, so I have a few other things that I want to add in. I'm only going to show you guys one more thing because I really only have time for one more thing. It's literally, we've almost been on almost an hour already, believe it or not. We're going to make a little decorative paper clip. And the reason why I'm doing a decorative paper clip is because I have this packet of die cuts that I want to attach to our little pocket flip here. So I want to have something to hold them in place because they're not going to fit into a pocket. So I'm going to make a little decorative paper clip. So I have a little paper clip here. Isn't that so cute? Thank you, M&M Nails. Yes, it's such a fun project. So fun. And you can make multiple of them, all different themes. Okay, so let's do our little paper clip. I have my hot glue gun already heated up. What I'm going to do is I have some little fabric pieces. This is like a little fabric floret lacy piece that I cut off of a larger piece. I have a couple of them actually. There's a couple little small pieces of floral, what are they called? They're like little, I don't have a whole bunch. You can buy them in packs too. But I'm going to take one of these and I am going to layer these up. So I'm going to take a little, and I'm going to use my hot glue for this only because it's faster. So I'm going to just take a little bit of my hot glue on this smaller one and we'll put the hot glue and kind of layer these two together like that. And then I have a really cute little flat back teacup charm. So I've got that cute little flat back teacup charm, which is perfect for Alice in Wonderland. And I'm going to glue that right to the center of that little rosette. So again, I'll put a little bit more hot glue on there. We'll stick that teacup charm right on there. Kind of let that sit. So there's kind of what it looks like. All right, then I want to add some color to it. So I have one of my little snippets here. These are the fabric snippets that I make. This has some nice floral coloring. So what I want to do is I want to use enough to cover the back of this like that so that there's some color to it. So I just kind of want to eyeball the size. So I'm going to fold it in half, fold a little piece in half like that, and then just take my scissors and snip it. All right, so now I have my little snippet piece, and we're gonna glue this together like that. But first, what I wanna do is I want to attach my paper clip. Let me get these threads out of here first. Pull some of these threads out. All right. All right, so let's take more hot glue, and on one side, or I'm on the inside of this fabric snippet. So on one side, I'm just gonna put a little like dollop of hot glue, just like that. Then I'm gonna take my paper clip, and not the side that goes into the paper, but the other side, I'm just gonna sit that right down into that hot glue. I'm gonna fold over my snippet like that, okay? So it's sandwiching that paper clip inside of the fabric. All right, so I'm just letting that sit just for a minute till it sets. All right, then I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna put some more glue on one side, and I'm gonna take my little rosette that we made here, or the little floral piece, and just glue that to the front. Very easy. So now we have like a hidden paper clip with this cute little teapot on it. Can be used as a bookmark page or whatever to hold something in place. But I'm going to just let that sit for just a minute until it sets. But I'm using it to attach my little die cuts to my pocket letter like this. It's something like that. So that's it. So again, I'm just going to add in a few extra little things. I've got a cute little white rose, another little floral piece, and I'm going to just add these in as like little extras for whoever gets this. Because like I said, I like to fill up my little pocket letters with all kinds of fun things. All right. This still needs to set a little bit more. It's not quite set enough. But that is it, guys. So I am going to end it there. I hope you guys enjoyed. Snippet. Exactly. Snip it real good. Okay, that's it, guys. That is one of my pocket flip pockets that I am sending out to Happy Mail members this month. For this month, but if you're a member, you'll at least if you're a member, you'll at least be notified, or you'll know when availability opens back up. So the link for that is in the description of the video. All right, hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we will see you again in my next video, and we'll see you again. I'll try to do another live next Wednesday. Have a great one, you guys. Take care.